Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie vlog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well. And today I'm going to be giving my initial thoughts and review for Star Wars Theory's first Vader episode film. And my initial reaction to this film is, wow. I mean, I honestly, you oftentimes forget that even if you are not a part of a major studio, that you have the capacity to be able to make very high quality products for maybe even less money than some of the major studios would be able to make it for. And so the first thing I want to really point out about the positive with this film is the fact, or rather episodic film. It's really hard to say because it's going to be, it was originally supposed to be a major film, didn't reach the entire funding that they wanted to for the project, but was able to get enough to justify doing an episodic form, being able to raise money for each individual episode. And I think that this first episode is definitely going to be able to catch the eyes and the attention of a lot of people to be able to get these future episodes made and funded, because this is really important work, because especially in the current state of Star Wars that we're in right now, where we have Disney Star Wars that's putting out and just, it almost seems like mass producing these products that have very little effort, very little thought into them. It's very nice to see someone who is obviously passionate about the Star Wars universe, obviously cares very much for Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader's character, to want to dive more into his mindset, especially right after the death of Padme, which is pretty much what this picks up from, is the very beginnings of Darth Vader as the apprentice of Emperor Palpatine, and how he is, you know, it's called Shards of the Past, and the reason why is because he's struggling with the parts of him that are still very much Anakin Skywalker. So, you know, constantly we hear throughout even the original trilogy, the modern state of Star Wars, and this as well, that Anakin Skywalker is dead, that Anakin Skywalker has been killed off, that he's killed off that side of himself. And here we see that that's actually not the case at all. He is still very much holding on to some of the old ideals and some of the old thoughts and desires of the old Anakin Skywalker, especially with his love of Padme. And it's a really interesting driving force for him, and it really helps us to better understand and dive into his mindset, into his psyche, as to what he may have been thinking after the death of Padme, when he essentially turned to the dark side to try and save her, and how the Emperor didn't really live up to his expectation, did not really live up to the promises that he made. So it dives into that, and also goes in very different directions as well. And I'm trying to avoid spoilers as much as I can, but to be honest, I'm just basically giving you the basic premise of what this film is focusing on, because there's a lot of really cool things in here. I will say that the effects for this film are probably one of my favorite parts, because it doesn't overuse it. It only uses visual effects when it has to, and because of that, it's probably better than most big budget films that come out in today's world. I would say that the effects in this film are even better than movies like Aquaman, like Age of Ultron, like so many other films that just overuse CGI to the point of you thinking to yourself, what in the hell are you doing? Why aren't you trying to use practical effects? This guy, Star Wars Theory, uses practical effects when he needs to, uses visual effects when he needs to, and it just looks great. I mean, the scenes that he shoots in space, the scenes that he shoots, there's a really beautiful shot outside it's an exterior shot of Naboo, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I thought to myself, I cannot believe that this was crafted together, that this was put together by a fan-made film, by a fan-made production, a film that was not being made for profit either. Like, that's also what the most amazing part about this, and this goes for any fan-made project, especially about a big especially when it's relevant to a Star Wars or any other major project where you legally can't make it for profit, is that these films are being made just out of love of the product itself, just being made out of love of the characters itself. And I think that this movie, I think that this first episode, or this first short film, I guess you could say, of this franchise, of this, 6 to 9 part series, I think is going to be very important for the future of fan-made projects, because it, one, shows you that you can indeed create high quality, big budget feel on a small budget, on a little budget, and also too that in the end, the creative mind is what matters most. Yeah, having good visual effects is great. Yeah, having good camera work is great, and they are important. They do help to exemplify, and they help to magnify the quality of a project. But even more important than that is writing, acting, and overall production value. And I think the production value on this is extremely high, even though we can look to the numbers, we can look to how much money they spent on the episode, but that doesn't really tell you the exact production value. It's how that money was used, and they used every penny and every cent of this in the best way possible for this film. The acting is fantastic. The voices are fantastic. This, to me, feels like it could even exist within the current state of Star Wars. This is not a film that goes against canon. This is a film that just helps you to better understand the characters and doesn't take the characters in any direction that the characters wouldn't naturally go. And so because of that, it's so interesting and it's so fascinating. That all being said, it's not a perfect film. I know that there's a lot of people out there who are saying that it's overrated, they didn't like it, and I think that they're entitled to their opinion, and I can understand where some of them, at the very least, because obviously there's some that's just writing it off because, oh, it's fan-made, blah, 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 and I think that those people are ridiculous. But I think that one could easily say that there is too much of a focus sometimes. At times, there's too much of a focus on the visual effect, on the character shock, or on the actual character on screen, and I think more importance is given to those characters, and I think that the story suffers slightly because of it. There are definitely some things I wish that there was a little bit more I would like to see in this series going forward, because obviously this is the first one, and I mean, we're going to have many more episodes to come forward, especially since I know this is going to be successful, because as I said, I overall really like this first episode. I think it's a very well made first episode, but that doesn't mean that it's perfect. I would love to see, and I don't know if Star Wars Fan Theory is going to watch this, I would love to see him incorporate more wide shots. I would like to see less cutting back and forth, and just to see something happening during the fight scenes, especially. I know that cutting is a way to help enhance the fight scenes, but I would love to see a really good lightsaber battle. I think that would be awesome, because that was one thing I was actually really hoping for. I was hoping to see a really badass lightsaber battle, and though Darth Vader is badass in this and has a really cool lightsaber battle, all I can think of is the Darth Maul fan film, and just the amazing camera work that they did and the amazing fighting that they did for that film. I would love to see some aspects of that brought into the next or future episodes of this project as well, because I think that that might be the only thing that's missing, is just that total wow factor. Like, I think that it relies too much on characters being shown and doing certain things and saying certain things than it does on actually wowing you with practical elements. And I think that that's something that they could rely on a little bit more. Even though I think it does a good job at balancing practical and special effects, I think that we could see a little bit more wider shots to be able to see more of what's going on and less cutting back and forth. That's really my only gripe with this film, because everything else is fantastic. Everything else works very well. It is for free on YouTube. I'm going to put a link to it in the comment section below. But overall, for this first episode, I'll give this a B+. I think it's a very good effort. I think it's very well done. It's not the greatest thing that I've seen, but it is still very, very good nonetheless. And I highly recommend that you check it out for yourselves. Make up your own mind. Don't let me speak for you. I know there's some people who say they didn't like it. There's some people that say that they loved it. It's the best thing ever. I think all of us can come together and say this is better than what Disney Star Wars is putting out right now, especially when you look to The Force Awakens and Last Jedi, especially The Last Jedi. But I still think that it has a little bit ways to go, and it's not because of the money. It's not because it doesn't have enough money to do these things. I just think that something needs to be, a small change needs to be done within the creative process itself, and really from behind the camera, I think, is where we need to see a little bit more development, because if they can get that camera work done, if they can get those, more wide shots, and they can get more of showing what's going on, I think that it'll be that much closer to being a perfect product. But anyway, guys, what are y'all's thoughts on this? I know that a lot of you were waiting for this, supported Star Wars Theory, supported his project, and we're very excited about this. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. So please let me know your thoughts. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. It helps me out a lot. You are all amazing and beautiful people. And guys, go support this. Go support other fan-made projects as well. Go support people like Ivan Ortega as well, who is re-editing The Last Jedi to try and make it into a competent film, and he's doing that for free. He's not being paid for that. He's going to be releasing it for free for everyone, and I think that we need to support these people. We need to support Star Wars Theory. We need to support Ivan Ortega. We need to support these content creators who are more than just personalities on YouTube who are making videos like I am, but rather they are people who are able to not only do that, but also show that their creativity almost has no bounds, that they're able to take pre-established material and make something of it, and also too, they're able to make their own original content as well and really do something special. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and as always, God bless.